Hello class, welcome to a new review series. So, as I said before in my short of where I said I'm moving and I wanted to try some new things, I actually wanted to finally get into my Star Wars The Clone Wars the animated TV series action figure line. So this is where I'm gonna do it. In this case, I have the three main casts that I'm pretty sure either everyone has or everyone knows, with it being Obi-Wan Kenobi, Yoda, and Anakin Skywalker. So these are each version other than R2-D2. I have another one, but I kind of feel like it's the same. I'll get into that in a little bit. So the one thing that I want to show and express is just that the, let's say, collection effort of this series is a little tricky, because as you can see on the right, there are three versions of Anakin. On the left, there are two versions of Obi-Wan. In the middle, you see only have one version of Yoda, and I say that because I've seen, I think, 3 to 4 versions, but this is really the only one that I want as of now. The main reason I say that is because there is another one with a blast effect coming out of his right arm, but because of how it works, he has a giant right arm sleeve, and I'm not really a fan of that look. So with my collection, I'm not trying to get every single one, every single piece, and 100% this like a Lego video game. I'm trying to get the ones that I like, especially the more TV show accurate versions, like the Anakin in the back and the Obi-Wan, because the American versions, as you can see, are more of a realistic animation style. Not to say that they don't look like the TV show, but in comparison to the ones where you had to get overseas, there is a glaring difference that I didn't realize until I started to collect again, and I'm a little biased towards it. The main reason I'm biased towards it is, like I said before, just the animation accuracy is what I look for in the toys. It's not just that, oh look, it's an Anakin. I want one that looks like him, that is a more groveled, and I'll get into a closer look later, actual representation of him instead of, I'm sorry to say, but the one that was released in America, where as first production, you know, it's okay. It's not really my favorite, especially it does show its age, and one of the ways that it does is just the leg posability, which is another thing I will get into later, not just with these guys, but with all the Star Wars figures. But then the other side of that fight is that, okay, let's say that I don't want to look for the animation accurate ones. Then we get these sick ones like Obi-Wan, where he's in his clone armor, and you can't get him, from what I know, because I haven't really done too much research because it's just too much money, is that you can only get this version with non-animated face. And what I mean is just him with the helmet, the backpack, and the clone armor, other than the non-basic one, and I'm saying that because I could never find this guy in the store, the one where he's more animation accurate. And then you get ones that are kind of in the middle, like Yoda. This is not a very appealing face mold. To be frank with you, he looks really disheveled and not, you know, happy, but oh well. So for how I will be formatting these videos, it's going to be a branch off of this. So what I'm going to do is, let's say I focus on Anakin. Then the next video is going to be Captain Rex, Echoes 5, Jesse, and then after we do the main ones, then we're going to be going into the not as famous clones like Deno, Hardcase, and so on. Then once we go to Obi-Wan, we're of course going to go over Commander Cody, some of the figures from the 321st like Waxer and Boyle, all the different versions, and with Yoda, we're going to go over the clones that he was with in the beginning, or season 1, episode 1 of the show. And then after these guys, we're going to get into a couple more Jedi, then after Jedi are done, we're going to get into clones like Wolfie and his battalion, so on and so forth. So to start off, and especially to understand the comparisons and how I'm going to do this, I'm going to start with the Anakin, talk about my likes, dislikes, and what I do and don't like about collecting these. My first likes is that we got 3 to 5 versions of Anakin. Are they really 3 to 5 versions? No, because we get this one where it's just a standard release where you can find them in multiple boxes, and then you get one where he has a space mask. So my one gripe with him is that you have 3 to 5 versions of the same one in different boxes. I understand some people can only get those boxes, but it's like, for a completionist like me, it's kind of annoying, but ain't the end of the world. And then my two gripes with these two are that they are technically the same figure, but as you can see, they have different attributes. This one is more animation accurate, this one is more of the toy maker accurate. And then other than that, you have a cotton cloth, and then on this one you have a plastic cloth. Once you get past those little looks, you see that the overall look, or let's say the stature and the model, is a little bit different. This one has more of a bulkier build, this one has more of a skinnier build. When you get into details of the wrist, they don't have the same amount of detail. And then you see that this is the only Clone Wars figure that has posed fingers, and that has another hand with great detail too. I mean, I never thought that unless you're getting like a special edition box or whatever, you can never get a Star Wars, a Clone Wars figure with this much accessories, in my opinion. Going on to articulation, let's just start with the basic one first. For its time, it was pretty nice. I mean, I was a kid, and this is actually my figure that I've had ever since the show first came out. So like, this is more of a memorial piece of how much time I actually spent like figuring out why I like these guys, how much I wanted to pose with them, and also just that I didn't have the ability to get like the fully articulated sideshow collectibles when it first came out. So with this one, he has a good range of motion. I'm not gonna say it's amazing, but I'm not gonna say it's bad. In comparison to some Star Wars toys today, or not even just Star Wars, some toys today that they're trying to mass produce, where all you got is this, just arms forward, head can rotate, and then it's like you can't really get too many poses with that. But then with this, you get a 90-degree elbow bend, wrist or forearm rotation, full 360. You can get a 360 with the shoulder. It's just some of them are a little tight. You can't really get that much high up with the shoulder, but I'm fine with it. I know that this guy is limited, so I didn't really expect much. You don't really get any outward or split movement, but you do get a nice knee bend. Not amazing. Again, it's just a little toy that is meant to be in a playing card deck, so it's not stunning, outstanding, but I feel like you can get the look across that you want with these guys. More than just being able to play with them, because like I said, with it being mainly a card playing game, or I think that was the main goal with these, you can get the look you want but not the poses you want. I'm fine with that. Moving on to the more toy accurate version. So I like this one just because of the cloth cape. I mean, yes, I do like the looks, I do like the colors, I do like the style. A lot of that stuff is nice, it's fun, especially the face detail, the scar, the clothes, the actual just shimmer. It's nice. For the articulation, you do get a little bit more articulation than the beginning one, but because of the neck joint of it being an updated version, with you being able to get a nice downward tilt and an okay up, it's nice. But because of that, I mainly just keep the head like this. For upwards movement, he does get more than the first release. Not a lot more, but it's manageable. I don't really see a problem with it. For the elbow, he gets a nice little bit under 90. Like I said before, you can get the idea of the pose, so it's not really a problem. Of course, great forearm rotation, full 360, and a little bit under 90-degree knee bend. My one favorite thing about this is just like the ball joints of some figures, how they incorporate the molding to actually look like the pants are folded. That's nice. Now for the last version of him in my favorite version, for the head, it doesn't really have the up and down swivel joint like it does on the other model, so it's just a regular ball joint, but you still do get a nice range of motion. The arm going up can go up a lot more. I mean, shoot, dude, I love this one just because of this. Elbow bend is a little under 90. It's not terrible, still good to me. Of course, wonderful forearm rotation, no hindrances at all. I'm also not going to be swapping out this arm just because I've never done it. I don't want to stress about it. I don't really want to do it, to be frank. Then with this hand, same thing, wonderful. Oh, is there no forearm rotation? Oh, well then, okay. So this guy really is just supposed to be in the stabbing pose or something. But just like the previous one before, the knee bend does flow smoothly into the rest of the molding to where it looks like the pants are actually folding up. That's nice. Now for R2-D2, this is my original one from way back in 2008 or 9, whenever my mom blessed me with getting this dude. And you can tell he's old because of all the dirt and grime and all the areas I've touched. Nasty, but history. So One cool thing about R2-D2 is that he does come with little arms. They are, I wouldn't really say they're fragile. I mean, of course they're fragile, they're tiny, they're plastic, but I mean, they're not like, well, if you drop him with his arms out, they're gonna break. No, they're meant to be played with, not like it. Then the legs do move just a little bit, or the feet move a little bit. The legs, you can do a full 360 if you manage to work with the feet, but I'm gonna say no. This comes out, gosh, that is dirty. I actually need to clean this. And then there is a little latch in the back with a hook, or you can turn the head a certain way to tighten and release the rope, which will do this, which will give you rope like this. And then it can go out to, let's say, maybe 6 inches. I want to show you, but my camera isn't focusing. Then the way you rewind it up is literally, it's so simple. It's so simple. Why the heck did toys get so, you know, non-innovative? What happened? Who bought them out? Back then, man, this guy, I love this guy just because of how much he offered. And then he also does come with some boosters that go on the side of him. They literally just plug in. There is no cover for this, so unless you have these in, do know that you will just have a little gap. I mean, it's nice. I say it does look good. It doesn't ruin the look. It doesn't abash the look. When I first got R2, I liked them just because this was my introduction to droids. Am I a big fan of droids? No. But see him with all of his accessories, that was just stunning. Now, like I said with the Obi-Wans, I don't know if these are the only two out there, but as of right now, these are the only two that I want. One, because I love the cool clone armor. This isn't my original. I lost the helmet for it, but I had one like him, but he was kind of down for wear, so I just sold him to someone for cheap and then bought this new replacement, which is a lot better than this one. You know, I kind of don't like. So the whole thing about the second one is that he comes with this backpack, or a grapple pack, let's say, and it is nice. It does have nice detail. It does have an actual working string mechanic, if you want to call it that, but I don't really like it because I got this little damage. One of the straps is broken, so he can't really wear it, and also I don't want to put on him. So I'm happy that I have him complete, other than his card and of course his bots, but you know, whatever. I'm not really trying to be a collector that just has them in bots. I actually want to touch them and play with them. So we're gonna start off with the articulation for the clone version, and honestly, like I have him here, there's a reason why I have him there. He doesn't really have that much articulation. He has a basic up and down, which is a lot better than Anakin's for some reason, and I say that because this was the first batch Obi-Wan. It seems weird that they would do this. And not a full 90 degree, but understandably with the armor, it's a little less 90, so I'm cool with it. It also does have some nice dirt patterning, which I love. Then for the helmet, it is in nice Clone Wars fashion. It's not overly realistic, and it is a great addition. I also love the little stamp on top. For the jetpack, I like to call this a Wolfpack jetpack because that's where I've seen this the most, but it is nice. It does actually work. Maybe. I don't think this one does. And then for his skirt and everything, it is nicely detailed. He does not have outwards movement, nor does he have a knee bend. He is mainly just for looks. Mainly just for the one pose. I mean, of course, you can get more poses with him, but this is one pose I'm going to keep him. Now for the second version, or later version, I don't really know when this one was released. I think this one was released in Canada or something. My one main problem, and maybe this is just my figure, but the arm doesn't go down. I'm very worried that either it doesn't go down or go up. This joint is very, very tight. But then in this one, you do have a nice range of motion, so maybe the person that I got this from broke the joint and that's why he was selling it. But other than that, you do get, this is the first figure with almost 90. He does have no forearm rotation. No idea why. He has a little bit of head movement. Oh, and same with the other one. They're both on ball joints, so you get the same range. For the leg articulation, you just get forward and back, no outwards movement, and you get a full 90 for once with the knee bend, which is not normal with these guys. Now with the droid, I do gotta say that I like this one look-wise just because there's more to be seen. There's more to be looked at. And it does have the same features that R2 has. He has a grapple on the back that you move with the work in the head. Then he does have the two little tools in front of his chest that you can open up. The blades move the same, but this time he does have thrusters on his side. So if you want a droid with no thrusters that looks nice, I would recommend Obi-Wan's. And of course, if you want to paint the R2-D2's colors, you can. But the other thing that's cool is just the amount of detail that's on it. Again, my first one was R2. Oh yeah, I forgot. This pops up. Same with R2. Does have a nice little camera up top, beautiful paint details. The only thing I don't like is a giant seam line, but you know, whatever. Ain't the end of the world. Now for the last figure of this video, it is Yoda. So one main reason why I really wanted this guy was just because of the cloth. He does seem to have nice rotation, nice articulation. He has a swivel, he has an okay head. It is very tight, but I mean, it has, honestly, it has a lot more range than Anakin and Obi-Wan's I reviewed. He does shockingly have a double jointed elbow. I wish I can show, but I really don't want to ruin the cloak. He does have a little bit of leg articulation, not a lot, just more forward and back like the rest of them. Great ankle mobility. I mean, some of the best I have of all my figures, other than maybe the hip joints on the bikers, and good up and down movement. And the other reason I like this guy is just because he posed the best. There's no giant, like I was talking about earlier, giant sleeve with a blast effect part that hampers or just makes him look ugly. This is the full package for me. No, I don't have everything, I only have his lightsaber and him, but this is enough for me. So I gotta say that all of these are amazing figures to own, even if you want to start new. If you want to start new, I would highly suggest the Obi-Wan for, let's say, more posable figure, and then I would say the Anakin for a more, let's say, easy figure to get a hold of. Now if you wanted one that was more screen accurate, I would recommend the one in the back. If you wanted an Obi-Wan that was more screen accurate, same thing there. But if you wanted an Anakin in the midst, I would say the one in the back right. Now for Yoda, I would just say pick your poison with him. He's varied. You can get some good ones, but just know that they will have their faults. Just like with all of these, some of them will be good, some of them will be meh. But you know, as long as you're willing to pay the right price, you might get the one that you want. That's gonna be it for this video. So next I'm going to be focusing on Yoda, just because he has the smallest amount of clones to go with him, as you will see. Now after Yoda, I will go over Obi-Wan and 312, and then after that I will go into the absurd amount of 501st Troopers. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Hope you look forward to the rest of the series, and I'll see you next time. Peace.